Hey everyone, it's Stephanie again, and you are tuned into the review of Married at First Sight Season 12 Decision Day episode. Before we get started, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be the first to find out when I post these videos. All right, let's just jump in. If you watched last night, then you already know 3 of the 5 couples stayed together. So that's Clara and Ryan, Brianna and Vincent, and who am I missing? Virginia and Eric. There were no surprises there for me, even though the whole season I did go back and forth, but none of that really surprised me. I am happy for them. I wish them well. You know, I saw a clip from the reunion video where Ryan said there's so much behind the scenes that we don't know about and don't get to see, which I totally believe that. And I think what I'm seeing in like the newer seasons is that they're getting smarter about what they're showing. It's not as like raw and uncut as it was like the first few seasons. So I'm sure not only is there just stuff left on the cutting floor, but like they're also not sharing certain things. And Ryan and Claire are a perfect example of who I believe had probably a lot more going on in terms of what they talked about, what they said they were gonna say and not say, how they were gonna present versus how things really are. I'm excited to see how they develop in the next reunion episode. This was kind of sweet. You know, seeing how they first met and what they thought of each other. I liked the voiceovers. I like how they talked about both the positive and negative. I loved how like Vinny and Eric re-proposed. It was very sweet. Ryan and Clara have this connection, y'all. I haven't seen it all season, but they have this connection and it works for them. So ideally this is what we want for this experiment. That's the whole point of it. If it works out for them and it genuinely creates and fosters like a great relationship, then that's awesome. Definitely excited to see how it develops. I will say last night felt like the Chris and Paige show. And I did not miss the Chris and Paige show. First of all, it was horrible acting. Chris crying in the car. I have no patience for him. I have no, I don't know. There's no warm and fuzzies for me with Chris because I really don't believe what he's saying. I definitely think that he needs some help. I definitely think that he needs a therapist or a strong male figure. I would say that he should get like a black male therapist, honestly. But it has to be someone that he respects. And I find it difficult for Chris to really accept redirection and actually take on what somebody is saying and not get disrespectful or check out or shut down. We saw him do that last night when Dr. Viviana was, you know, kind of calling him out. Like, I think this is like a farce. I think you're playing with her. I think you're playing with us. The fact that it was 6 hours, like when they all got together after the decision day and they said it was 6 hours, because I was wondering, why are they in the same clothes when they're like day 2? Probably wasn't meant to be a 6 hour, well, I'm sure it wasn't meant to be a 6 hour ordeal. And this is the problem. Therein lies the problem, that Chris comes and takes over and it becomes the Chris show and everybody kind of plays into him. I mean, it makes for great TV. I'm sure they're all about the ratings, but it was disappointing to see that here we are again. He is getting rude when he's saying, I'm not going to. You see, he's trying to control himself, but he can't really control himself. He's trying to control the scenario. Oh, for the first time, this might be an experience you guys have on the show that you've never had. I don't think his intentions are good. And I also think that he does really need some help because his behavior is incredibly erratic. If you came on here to give good TV, then brava, Chris. But if you really came on here to find someone and you wanted them to be exactly who you wanted them to be, then you suck. And I don't really want to talk about him too much. You know, it was just a lot of lies, even saying she's the best thing he never had and blah, blah, blah. But the last time he met with Pastor Cal, he kind of said, of all the women in Atlanta, this is what you brought me, because he's not attracted to her. My bigger issue is with Paige. You know, Paige, if you are acting, then brava too. But if you're not, then I hope that you really do some intensive self-work because I am stunned with the apprehension to say no and to be so easily pulled into the possibility of saying yes. And what was there to consider? That stems from like grave insecurity, grave low self-esteem, and something that cannot be handled in a relationship. She needs to get a handle of that prior to the next relationship, or that next relationship is going to drive her anyway. She is not in charge of her person emotionally and mentally, therefore she can kind of be moved around by whatever she's seeking or whatever appears to desire her, etc., etc. It was sad to see, because yes, she's on TV, but the way that my mind work is, okay, let's say she's acting, just for the sake of this conversation. There's a lot of pages out there that are not acting and are kind of doing this thing where they're just so happy to get morsels and crumbs from losers in life who don't even deserve them, don't really respect them, don't really value them. And that is sad to see, because, you know, life imitates art sometimes, right? So we're watching this, but there are plenty of people, plenty of women showing up like Paige. So do the self-work, love yourself first, get comfortable with being alone. People who are not comfortable with being alone, you'll see how their relationships continue to drive who they are and how they can't not be. Like, I love J-Lo, but she's a great example of that. And the codependency that comes with not being comfortable being alone so that you can wait for that. So that's my 2 cents. That's what I took from Chris and Paige, like just from my real life pages out here. Love yourself for real so that you don't get caught up in bamboozled by this stuff. But yeah, I'm excited to see the reunion. Kevin Frazier, I love Kevin Frazier as a host, because I think he asks the questions and kind of checks them in a way that others didn't, you know, and he just gets comfortable with the confrontation, which is what we want to see. We want to see like real stuff. So no surprises last night. I thought it was a beautiful montage of how they got together and how they, you know, managed to get through this process. And, you know, decision day was short and sweet. I really think that beyond the Chris and Paige show, it was like really a short episode outside of that. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. No surprises here. Let me know what you guys thought, what you're predicting also for the reunion episode. Who do you think will still be together? Oh, Jake and Haley. I don't think I even talked about them. No surprises there either. They made the right decision. Jake's like really salty. I think Jake is salty because he checked in. You know, he really checked in and he showed up and he was hoping that it would work out. And Haley's kind of, I don't want to say she's getting what she wants, because she wanted a marriage. She wanted a wedding. I don't think she really wanted a marriage, because she really never checked in. Not that Jake is like the easiest personality, but he definitely tried in a way that she didn't. But I think she can be kind of happy and saying, oh, I tried and I learned so much about myself, because she doesn't want to be with him. She's just like, get me out of here, like now. Whereas he is still feeling away because he's seeing what it could have been. Even his comments about Virginia and Eric, he kind of said, you know, he was somewhat surprised that they stayed together, but they did the work. And so in saying that, he basically was saying like they circled back to each other and they tried again. And he would have hoped subconsciously, because I hear what's not being said. That's what I'm trying to do. Subconsciously, he would have hoped that they can kind of circle back and recommit and rededicate themselves. So, but they made the right decision because they weren't right for each other. So anyways, that's it. As always, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share, and let me know what your reunion predictions are. Who's still together? Who's having a baby? Maybe, you know, that wouldn't be the first. And I'll see you guys next week. Everyone have a wonderful week.